The birds, the sun, the seeds starting, the garden planting. I feel the life coming back to me. Hello, if you are new here, my name is Rachel. I have been on a debt-free journey for over 9 years, and I'm still not debt-free because student loans, but otherwise, consumer debt-free for about 6 years now, and I'm trying to build a life that is going to allow me to maintain being debt-free, except for student loans, for hopefully the rest of my life in today's economic climate. It seems like a pretty powerful thing I can try and do is reduce my cost of living, which is just something I'm always trying to do. But today we're going to be talking about how I'm going to try and do that when it comes to food and groceries. For most people, food and groceries are the second largest expense next to housing, and I'm no exception to that. A really important goal for me for 2025 is reducing my food and grocery budget by growing as much of my own food as I possibly can. Because I've been on a debt-free journey and budgeting my finances for years, I have years of data that I can go back through and compare how much I'm going to be spending on my food and groceries in the year ahead and compared to years past. I assume it's just going to get better as the growing season progresses, especially as a plant-based eater. Most of what I eat is plants, and so I'm gonna try to grow enough food to really drastically reduce how much I'm spending every month on my groceries. This behind me is Bernard, my Cavendish dwarf banana plant. He has been living the apartment life with me for the last 6 years or so, and I keep promising him a greenhouse, and you guys, I think this year might actually be the year, so let's all keep our fingers crossed that Bernard gets his greenhouse this year. But he's certainly not going to be growing outside. I am in the White Mountains in New Hampshire. I am in USDA Grow Zone 5A. My average last frost date here is May 21st to May 31st, and my average first frost in the fall will be October 1st to October 10th. This is pretty much the same grow zone that I've grown gardens in my whole life. I grew up in central Maine, and so I'm pretty much in the same grow zone here. As of today, I am 10 weeks out from my average last frost date, so I am behind on planting two things, echinacea and rosemary. I gotta get those started today, and I'll do that later, but for now, I'm just gonna go through all of the seeds that I'm growing this year. It feels like a lot when I have them all spread out in front of me, but I really don't think it will be. There's not a huge variety here because I am really just focusing on the things that I actually eat. Like every cell of my body is level 10 excited for this garden this year. I have been craving hands in the soil, tending my own garden, and just living a simple, quiet life in the woods for years. So this has been years in the making. So I know I'm gonna wanna be like overly excited and probably start too many plants, because that always seems to happen, but I'm gonna try my best not to. Some of these seeds are older from prior years. Some of them are from last year's windowsill veggie garden, but the majority of them are fresh for this year. So I don't know. Everyone starts with tomatoes first, I guess, right? Let's just do that. The tomatoes are probably the thing I have the most of, but there's really not that many varieties. I've got a mix of paste tomatoes as well as bigger slicer tomatoes and some cherry tomatoes, and I'm just probably gonna can all of them, not necessarily just the paste tomatoes. Almost all of the seeds I got this year are from Botanical Interests, and I got them from my local garden shop. I really like Botanical Interests, so I was happy that they had them. But I do have some other varieties, other seed packets from previous years, like last year's windowsill veggie garden, as well as some seeds that are even older that I'm still gonna try and grow because why not? For big slicers, I got Cherokee Purple and Ace 55. I have not grown either of those before, but I've heard good things. For Romas, I've got some San Marzanos. I got the seeds from this year. And then some Roma VF. These I got for the windowsill veggie garden for last winter. This is a big slicer, but Brandywine tomatoes. I love Seed Savers Exchange as well. Another good heirloom seed company. Brandywines are not very disease resistant, so they don't do great, but they're The first heirloom tomato I really fell in love with, so I always want to plant them because they're delicious. Those seeds are from 2018, so I don't know how great the germination rate's gonna be. I've got 2 cherry tomatoes. I have a cherry falls, which is supposedly like a hanging bush variety. I actually have one of these started in the windowsill right now because I want to grow it inside right now, because every time I go to the grocery store, I love the looks of some of the tomatoes, but I hate the price tag and the fact that they're trucked in from Mexico to me in New England. That drives me crazy. So I know they're not going to taste how I want them to, so I don't buy them, but I want to eat them. So we're trying them on the windowsill. And then the other cherry variety, I'll start Sweet 100. These are older seeds as well, so I don't know about the germination, but we'll try it out. And then I've got 2 packets of tomatillos, because green salsa and like so many other things. 7 tomatoes and a tomatillo variety. Now we'll move on to the peppers. Not a lot going on here. Got some generic sweet bell peppers. It's called a mix, but it's either yellow or red or orange, I guess. Every pepper starts out green if you pick it immature. If you let it mature, it'll turn a different color. Most of them. Throw some of those in the ground. And then for okay, these seeds are older than dirt. Okay, these are from my 2013 garden. So not a lot of hope for these, but at the very least, I'll compost the seeds by throwing them outside in the dirt. And then for hot peppers, we got some jalapenos and serranos. Not a huge variety, but we want to try and make a variety of our own hot sauces this year. So peppers, I figured we would probably come across some interesting like hot pepper plant starts at the local nursery or the farmer's market one of these days, and maybe add some pepper variety in that way, but I just didn't feel like getting any more seeds, I guess. Let's hit the brassicas. This is probably one of my favorite categories, because other than tomatoes, broccoli is something else that's in my grocery cart every single week, and cabbage is also a pretty frequent flyer. But yeah, broccoli, we've got Bell Star, which I'm just realizing that's the only broccoli variety I have, which maybe I'll get some more broccoli starts from the greenhouse one day. I don't know. Cauliflower, got the snowball. I started both of those outside in winter sowing already. They've not popped up yet, but I'm still waiting. I have some old snowball seeds I'm also going to compost, throw in the ground from 2014. So I would be surprised if any of those even sprout. Cabbage, I've got the Copenhagen Market for green cabbage and Red Acre for some red cabbage, which I've started red cabbage outside, I think I mentioned. Also, I'm realizing I only have 1 type of kale. I have the lacinato or dinosaur kale, but I want some either like red Russian or just some other green curly kale. I guess I'll have to get some plant starts. And then Brussels sprouts. Never tried to grow them before, but we're giving it a whirl. I eat them here and there. They're not like a super favorite of mine, but you know. Okay, we'll hit the onions real quick. I've already started a flat of half yellow sweet Spanish and the flat of Italy. Do I want to sow some outside as well? I don't know. I don't know how hopeful I am for the seedlings in the windowsill. Maybe they're fine. I don't really know. It's been so long since I've grown onions. I don't know. And then these seeds are from last winter's windowsill veggie garden. I have some of these growing on the windowsill right now as well, but I'm going to plant more outside when the time is right. Who's next? Ooh, squashes. Squashes. I love squashes because they store so well. 2 really old, not really old, yeah, 2018. But we have a butternut and a buttercup variety. I'm going to plant them because why not? If anything, they'll go to compost. Maybe they still got some juice left in them. But for this year, I bought spaghetti squash, a pack of acorn And then I wanted a butternut, but at the store I found these honey nut, which say not your average butternut. Bred to have richer, sweeter flavor and smooth texture in a smaller package. And when checking out, the cashier at the garden center said, ooh, that's a great variety for around here. These squash mature at a small size. They're great for our short growing season here in New England. Okay, carrots. I have extremely old carrots from Johnny's when my brother worked there years ago. These are just hybrid storage carrots. I would be so impressed if any of those sprouted. And then I have some Danvers from, what year is that? 2012. Yeah, probably not. But then for this year, we got some Cosmic Purple, which that's the only new variety I got for this year. I love carrots, but don't have a root cellar, so I'm not gonna be trying to grow a ton of root vegetables to store. Carrots are probably something I'm gonna more focus on trying to get at the farmer's market through the fall from my neighbors that grow for production and have proper storage. Purple ones are gonna be fun for this summer. And now zooks and cucumbers, these are kind of mashed together. But yeah, for zucchini, I have just Black Beauty. I have a packet from last year's windowsill veggie garden when I was growing zucchini in my windowsill. And I got a new pack for this year just in case they don't sprout, because zucchini is absolutely in my grocery cart every single week as well. I put it in so many things just to bulk up meals with extra veggies. And for cucumbers, I got two varieties. The Space Master 80, supposedly great for pickles when small and good for slicing when mature. But then we also got some of the Muncher that look like more of just a thin-skinned variety and great for slicing and eating fresh. All right, next we got the beans. Beans. Okay, oh my gosh, so old. These are also seeds from 2013. A wax and a green variety. They're probably just gonna end up being compost, but we're gonna try. And then these seeds are from unknown, but not from the last 2 years. I can tell you that right now, but we'll try them. Rattlesnake snake snaps. And then these Blue Lake bush beans I got for last year's windowsill veggie garden that I'll be putting outside this year. And then two new packs for this year. Some jade bush beans and of course some sugar snaps, because yeah, what's a garden without sugar snap peas? That would be crazy. Ooh, I'm excited about these. This is a random assortment, but cantaloupe, because yum. I've never grown cantaloupe, I don't think, or maybe not successfully. Gonna give it a go. And then just some sugar baby watermelons. Maybe these will have good luck here since they're a smaller to mature thing, and maybe that's good for a short growing season as well. This one I'm excited about. Loofah. Loofah. Absolutely going to try to grow my own kitchen and body scrubbers. Super excited about that because the world does not need any more plastic. I'm gonna try some sugar pearl corn. This packet Bob had, it doesn't have a date on it, but we know it's older. We'll see. I have never had success growing corn. They come out small and weird. Maybe it'll be food for a critter outside or something. And then just a simple mix packet of beets. I love beets and beet greens. This has a mix of Detroit dark red, Chioggia, if I'm saying that right, probably not, and then golden. So just a pretty small packet of 3 different ones. That's probably plenty. And then for radishes, this is packet I got for last year's windowsill veggie garden. I have the second planting of them growing in the window right now for this winter, and plus we're gonna just put a bunch outside. Radish greens are delightful to eat as well. You can eat the whole damn plant. But this is a blend of French dressing, pink beauty, cherry bell, purple plum, sparkler, and white hailstone. And there should still be plenty to get. A couple or 2 or 3 crop more out of this outside. The other thing, which some of you saw me plant already, but some strawberries. I got these red and yellow Wonder Blend Alpine strawberries. I thought, well, we're on the side of a mountain here. Maybe that kind of makes sense. So I don't know. I'm interested to see how they come out. They had a pretty good germination rate in the seedling tray. I did start these already. These are recommended to start 14 to 16 weeks before your average last frost date if you want fruit in the first year. So yeah, I might as well try. But I actually got 2 packets of them just in case they're a total fail from seedling indoors. You can also try and sow them outside, and I can try and start more next year if I need to. If I come across other strawberry plant varieties at the nursery or greenhouse, maybe I'll get a couple other variety to try. Greens, pretty basic. I just have some spinach and then several like salad and musclin mixes. All of these were purchased last winter for the windowsill veggie garden, and I've been growing spinach and lettuces, and I'm absolutely gonna plant more outside. And arugula. We've got lots of that going on the windowsill right now. We've been enjoying it on pizzas quite a bit. Now for the herbs, I have chives, parsley, thyme, oregano, cilantro, a 6 basil blend. I bought all of these last year for my windowsill veggie garden. I have all of them growing in my windowsill right now. And I'll be starting more of those to put outside, as well as some catnip. I have some growing inside right now, but they don't like it fresh. They prefer it dried out, so I probably won't grow it inside anymore. I'll just grow a ton of it outside this year and dry it so we have a year's worth of catnip. But the other one I'm excited to plant outside is dill. I love dill. Obviously that's going to come in really handy for pickling, but also for the pollinators. Yes. Oh, and rosemary, I'm going to have to start. I don't have any of this growing inside for some reason. I just don't use it much. That's why. I don't use it much. But it's nice to have a little dried on hand, so I will grow and dry some. And then I have another variety of oregano, and it's common. Keeping the herbs going, but these ones are more of like tea-focused herbs, because heck yes, we're going to be drying a ton of things to make teas all winter long. And starting off with lemon balm. Get the whole apothecary going someday, but you know, we gotta start small first. Chamomile. Oh, echinacea. Finally found some seeds. My local garden center did not carry echinacea, so I had to make a separate small botanical interest order straight from the website, but it is okay. It was worth it. I got some bergamot. I've never had this as a tea, but honestly, just looking at the seed packet, I couldn't pass it up. It's got hummingbirds and butterflies, so right away, it attracts all the pollinators, which, yes, Tulsi basil, of course. Holy basil, Tulsi, whatever you want to call it. Is that everyone? Yes, I believe so. No, ma'am. Oh my gosh, I forgot. I did this additional order on Etsy because I couldn't find St. John's wort or apple mint. Sometimes you gotta go to Etsy. Because I wanted St. John's wort, of course. And look how teeny tiny, so cute. And apple mint, I have heard, it makes such a lovely tea. Okay, whatever, just trust it says apple mint. And as a bonus, they sent me some black goji berry, which is cool. My brother has been growing a food forest for over a decade now in central Maine, in pretty much the same growing zone that I'm in here. And he's had great success with goji berry, but not black goji berry, I don't think. So I'm intrigued. I think they're more of a bush, but I'll have to do some research on that. That's everything I'm starting in the garden. And I'm so excited. I feel like this is a good, healthy amount. Like, it's not a crazy amount of things, but I think that's a positive, because then I'm not going to get overwhelmed. Which I know in my heart of hearts, like, I want to plant all the things, but oh my God, that's not it. I'm just realizing I forgot about the flowers, which we don't have to go through every single one, but do we have a variety of wildflowers? I'm so excited because pollinators. Yes, all of the pollinators. Like, come on, so excited, so excited. Not all of these are going to be native local things, but most of them are, and most of them are just annuals. But I'm really excited to start making the garden beds and planning out where things are going to go. It's not going to be super organized. Everything will be tucked into a bed, but it'll be what I hope, you know, a lot of permaculture and polyculture principles of just mixing everything together to benefit the plants and the pollinators and for all of the good reasons. So organized chaos. I think just what I have here in front of me, and if I had to guess, if I had to put a price on what I spent for this year, everything I bought this year, I would say for the seeds and the seed starting equipment, $160 altogether, I believe, which is upfront cost. These seeds, I'm not going to use all of them this year, and if things do really well, I'll save the seeds and I'll plant those next year. And so in years to come, the cost hopefully shouldn't be quite as much, especially for the seed starting equipment. Like, it doesn't last forever, but you don't need to replace that every single year, especially if you get creative. Like I said, I've done some winter sowing already of some brassicas, and I'm going to do more today as well when I do the echinacea and rosemary seeds. Those will be started indoors under grow lights, of course, but winter sowing, fill them up, plop them outside, and be done with it. So yeah, we're starting the first seeds of the year, but it's certainly not the first thing we harvest in the calendar year, at least not here in New England. The first thing we actually harvest is maple sap in maple sugaring season, which is right now. If you're interested in seeing how our maple sugaring goes, feel free to subscribe. That video should be out very soon. And if you're interested to see how or if I'm able to offset my food and grocery costs in the year to come by growing as much of my own food as possible, hang around. I'd love to have you. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you again very soon.